In this video, we are going to go over the solutions to the Unit 1 test. If you did not like the grade that you got in the test, you can do the KEMAS to lift your grade. If you forgot how to do KEMAS, you can go to the Google Classroom. Under one of the weeks, I did leave a video that explains how to do it, and I'll be attaching the KEMAS form as well. So the Unit 1 test was all over intro to geometry, points, lines, planes, angles, etc. We're going to go ahead and look at some of the problems here, and then I will be going over the problems that were the most missed or common mistakes for you all. So on this first problem, it says name 2 points that are collinear to point K. So the keywords there are collinear, which means on the same line. And they want to know 2 point K. So K is here. We need 2 points that are on the same line as K. K is actually part of 3 lines. So one says H and M, but if you look at H and M, those are not on the same line. The next answer choice says N and J. If you look at N and J, they are not on the same line as each other. Our next answer choice says J and L. If you look at J and L, they're both on line A with K. So J, K, and L are collinear points. So that would have been the correct answer. This next question has the word coplanar. Coplanar means on the same plane. So we're going to look for points that are on the same plane as each other. The only plane we see in this picture is plane M. So we want to look at points that are on plane M. So there we have points A, E, D, and F. So we want to see which answer choice has those. The first answer choice has B, so that's wrong. The second one has M and C. M is a plane, not a point. Our next answer choice says C, B, and A. C and B are not on that plane. And the last one says A, F, and E. Since A, F, and E are all on plane M, that would be the correct answer. This next question wants to know the intersection of line C and plane R. Intersection would be where they cross. So we're going to look at line C, which is right here. And plane R is this whole plane down here. So they want to know where line C crosses through plane R. Well, if you look carefully, that's happening right here at point K. Our next question says which angle is an acute angle. Acute means less than 90 degrees. So acute angles are less than 90 degrees. So if we look at our answer choices, we're going to start with angle EKF. EKF would be right here. That one is greater than 90, so it's obtuse. Next, we have angle HKF. HKF is actually a whole line. So since it's the whole line, that one's actually equal to 180 degrees. The next answer choice says angle GKJ. GKJ would be this small part right here. So that one is less than 90, so it's acute. So that would be the correct answer. Our next question wants to know what kind of angle relationship is shown. So if you look, we have a 60-degree angle and a 30-degree angle. If you were to add those together, you would get 90 degrees, making this a right angle. Angles that add to 90 are called complementary angles. So complementary was correct. Supplementary angles are the ones that add to 180. Vertical angles are the ones that are opposite or across from each other. And an angle bisector is not an angle. It's actually a ray that cuts 2 different angles into 2 equal halves. Question 9 says angle 1 and angle 3 can best be described as. So if you look at angle 1 and angle 3, those are actually vertical or across from each other. So those are vertical angles. And if you remember, we also learned that vertical angles are congruent. Remember, complementary add to 180, complementary add to 90, supplementary add to 180. Adjacent angles are actually angles that are side by side. Our next one wants us to find the value of x. If we look here, we notice it forms a straight line. So these add to 180 degrees. They're supplementary angles or a linear pair. So to get x, we would do 180 minus 62. That comes out to 118 degrees. On question 11, it wants us to name an angle that is adjacent to angle 2. Adjacent means next to, or these will be side by side. So we look at angle 2. Angle 2 is adjacent to two angles. It's adjacent to angle 1 and angle 3 because it's right next to or side by side angle 1 and angle 3. So the only one in the answer choices there would be angle 1. This next question wants to know which angle is 90 degrees. Remember, 90 degrees forms a right angle. So we look at the picture here. We see our right angle here. So we're just naming that angle. So that one has letters LJK. So we could call it angle LJK or angle KJL. But J has to be in the middle because it's the vertex. So that would be answer choice 2. Question 13 wants to know which angle is a linear pair with angle 1. Linear pairs are angles that when they're next to each other, they form a straight line. So two angles that when next to each other form a straight line. So we're going to look at angle 1. It's right here. So that forms a straight line right here with angle 5. So angle 1 and angle 5 form a linear pair. So our correct answer here is angle 5. This question says HK bisects angle GHJ. So HK is a bisector which cuts this into two congruent angles. They want us to find the measures of GHK, which would be this angle right here on the right, and KHJ, which is this angle here on the left. And then they say that the big angle, JHG, measures 161. So this big one here is equal to 161 degrees. Angle bisector literally cuts the angle in half. So if we do 161 and we cut it in half or divide it by 2, we get 80.5. So each angle of the little angles would be 80.5 degrees. Because then if you were to add them together, you would get the 161. So the correct answer here was the third one. This one wants to know the name of the polygon shown. So we need to count the sides. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Shapes that have 5 sides are called pentagons. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides. Hexagons have 6 sides. And octagons have 8 sides. Next question wants us to find the perimeter, and they gave us the formula. So you just need to mark which one you want to be the length and the width. So we would do 2 times 2 plus 2 times 9. This becomes 4 plus 18, or 22, and our units here are centimeters. Another way you can find the the perimeter, is also to add all sides. So another way you could have done this is to add all sides. So we would do 9 plus 2 plus 9 plus 2. If you add these numbers together, you get 11 plus 11, which is also 22 centimeters. So those are two different ways you could have done this problem. Question 17 wants us to find the area of the triangle, and they gave us the formula. So A stands for area, B stands for base, H stands for height. So here my base is 4 centimeters, my height is 6 centimeters. So I'm going to plug in 1/2, my base was 4, my height is 6. If we do 4 times 6, we get 24. Half of 24 is 12. And when you're doing area, the units are squared. So it's 12 centimeters squared. This last problem wants the volume of the cylinder. And then they gave us the formula for volume. We're going to use 3.14 for pi. So volume equals pi r squared times the height. Remember, letter R stands for radius, H stands for height. So in our picture, our radius is equal to 2 centimeters. Our height is equal to 2.5 centimeters. Here I'm going to use PEMDAS. So 2 squared means we're doing 2 times 2, which is 4. And then here we would multiply these three numbers together. So if I do 3.14 times 4, I get 12.56. And then I can multiply that times 2.5. That comes out to 31.4. And our units when we're doing volume are actually cubic units. So it's going to be centimeters cubed. So those are the solutions to the Unit 1 tests. Again, if you want to lift your grade, you can do GEMAS to lift it. I'll be attaching that form.